I never anticipated that my life of grandeur could collapse so quickly. Yet that was precisely my experience in Geneva, a city synonymous with wealth and elegance. I can still vividly recall the moment I arrived at the opulent Hotel Beau Rivage, a haven boasting breathtaking views of the majestic Alps, standing sentinel over the entire city in a soft, gentle embrace. The sight, stunning as it was, served as a poignant reminder of the luxurious life I had painstakingly built over the decades, a life that now felt like an elaborate house of cards, teetering and waiting to topple at the slightest gust of wind. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Vivienne Sinclair, a formidable force behind Sinclair Holdings, a global empire that transcends continents, its roots deeply embedded in the rich and storied history of my family. Our legacy traces back to the early 20th century, when my great-grandfather struck it rich in the textile industry. He embarked on a transformative journey that would create generational wealth. He possessed incredible vision, relentless ambition, and sheer determination to forge a prosperous path for our future. It took unwavering resolve, courage, and a vast network of influential connections to nurture our empire into what it is today, valiant and formidable, valued at over $3.5 billion. I seized every opportunity presented to me, my eyes set firmly on the horizon. I navigated an intricate portfolio filled with luxurious brands and prestigious real estate, orchestrating my life with an elegant dance of power and precision, each movement calculated and choreographed with the utmost care and flair. This performance, perfected over years of dedication and skill, was my magnum opus, the crescendo of a life well lived. Yet, like any symphony, even the most masterful performance can falter at the most inopportune moment, and so too could my carefully constructed world. In time, I began to notice the facade I had so dutifully maintained showing telltale cracks, not just in my empire, but within my own health as well. Several weeks ago, I started to experience an unsettling shift within my body, strange symptoms I initially brushed aside. Ignoring them was easier than confronting the truth. Being strong often meant dismissing your own frailty. However, as the symptoms worsened, the reality hit me like a tidal wave, an unrelenting flood of fear that rendered me breathless. It became abundantly clear. I needed to seek medical care. And who better to entrust than those in Geneva, with its renowned healthcare system and world-class professionals who were regarded as the best in their fields. I entered that elegant doctor's office, enveloped in the sterile fragrance of antiseptic mingling with the promise of expertise. There I was, Vivienne Sinclair, the indomitable entrepreneur, reclined on pristine, starched white linens, feeling the immense weight of my empire resting on my frail shoulders. As I awaited the doctor's announcement, those lingering moments turned into an eternity, my pulse quickening with a mixture of anxiety and dread. The doctor's entrance was marked by a clinical coldness that set my nerves on edge, sending shivers coursing through my spine. His serious demeanor was a foreboding sign, a harbinger of the storm that was about to engulf me. When he finally spoke, the gravity of his words hit me like a freight train. My diagnosis was catastrophic, and I could hardly bear the crushing weight of his revelation. Days of extensive treatment loomed on the horizon like dark clouds, and I had always held steadfast in the belief that my wealth could effortlessly secure the finest care. Yet, as I reached out to the most notable healthcare providers, the responses I received were dishearteningly vague, riddled with double talk rather than clarity. Each reply sent shivers of doubt cascading through my mind, wrapping around my heart like cold iron chains. The days melted into a relentless cycle of fear, a vortex of trepidation spiraling around me as I fought not only physical pain, but also profound inner turmoil that burned like an exhaust fire. My empire, so magnificent in its glory, began to feel fragile, swaying dangerously above the precipice of uncertainty. What was the point of the years of toil and triumph if my health now languished in peril? During this turbulent time, my family, once a source of unwavering support, became entangled in a web woven from my mounting anxiety and dread. My daughter, the heir I had fervently hoped would carry on my legacy, seemed just as lost and fearful as I was. Our previously solid relationships began to experience cracks under the pressure of our shared burdens, revealing a collective anxiety that loomed over us like a storm cloud threatening to burst at any moment. The metrics of success that had once defined my existence, purchasing, selling, acquiring, now appeared stark and insignificant when set against the backdrop of a looming illness threatening to overshadow everything I had painstakingly established. Desperation clawed at my insides, a wild animal urging me to seek insight from Jasper, a longtime friend and one of the top-tier advisors intricately connected to my family for decades. Jasper had always been my guiding star, expertly navigating the turbulent waters of business with unwavering resolve. Yet I had overlooked the telltale signs that hinted at impending betrayal hidden beneath his reassuring facade. In our intimate discussions, he emerged as an unexpected confidant, a bastion of wisdom, until one fateful day when he divulged a startling concept over coffee in a charming cafe overlooking the serene waters of Lake Geneva. He spoke of the shadowy realm of billionaire insurance, a concept cloaked in secrecy, known only to the elite of society, much like a mythical treasure trove. In that moment, a wave of disillusionment washed over me like ice water, shocking me to my core with a chilling clarity. Had I really been so engrossed in building my empire that I had neglected the existence of this critical layer of security hidden just beneath the surface? As I probed deeper into this concealed reality, I began to uncover troubling truths about the healthcare industry. Interminable waiting lists, restricted access. These were not mere inconveniences, but grim realities masking a world driven by privilege, entitlement, and scarcity. Why had no one at the height of my empire ever informed me of this crucial information? In one fell swoop, I transformed from a confident titan to a shadow of the woman I had been for decades. My ignorance rendered me vulnerable, leaving me exposed to the betrayal and deceit lurking behind every corner. Compelled to uncover the truth, I systematically began sifting through documents I once deemed unimportant, combing through the archives of my life like one might sift through grains of sand on a sun-kissed beach. To my horror, I unearthed a string of nearly untraceable correspondences that hinted at the possibility that Jasper might not be the only one concealing secrets from me. Each discovery was akin to peeling back layers of an onion, and with every layer I removed, I felt the sting of betrayal seep deeper into my soul, gnawing steadily at the very core of my being. The real revelation struck me like a lightning bolt, electrifying the air around me when I stumbled upon a long-forgotten account linked to a hidden trust, valued at an astonishing $12 million. It had been established by my late husband, cloaked under the guise of future security, an insurance policy that had eluded my awareness for far too long. As I stood in my dimly lit office, a swirling mix of anxiety and determination filled me, edging me on to open the vault encasing the complex documents, desperate to decode my husband's intentions. What had he been protecting me from? Or, perhaps more unsettling, was he protecting something else entirely? Perhaps even someone? As fate would have it, the narrative took a public turn when I found myself at a lavish gala held in one of Hôtel de Ville's grand ballrooms. Adorned in a breathtaking, custom-made Dior gown, it clung elegantly to me, allowing me to glide through the crowds with grace. I stood amidst the dazzling lights and glitter of elite society. Surrounded by luminaries, adorned in grandeur, splendor enveloped me like a warm embrace. Yet it felt like a double-edged sword, a beautiful illusion masking the chaos raging within me. Conversations swirled around me, filled with shallow pleasantries, envy-laced admiration, and polite smiles that felt more like daggers than warmth. But beneath this opulence, I felt the intense weight of scrutiny from my fellow elites. Their keen eyes dissected my every move, searching ceaselessly for signs of weakness or cracks in the facade I had so painstakingly constructed, hoping to unearth any secret vulnerability. Seizing the moment to reclaim my power, I decided to present my findings at the gala, a platform surrounded by the very people who once admired my success. My resolve was ironclad. I was ready to expose the intricate layers of my monumental discovery to those who had only ever seen the surface of my world, the dazzling exterior that shimmered brilliantly under the gala's lights. Confidence radiated from me, illuminating the dark corners of uncertainty that had held me captive. However, as I articulated my newfound revelations, proclaiming my hard-earned knowledge, I was met with incredulity and skepticism from the attendees. An audacious woman dared to challenge me, questioning the ethics surrounding these hidden assets once draped in secrecy. It turned into a game of chess, each move critical, and with unwavering determination, I was resolved to claim victory amidst the fray. Yet amidst this chaos, a surprising sense of clarity washed over me like a cleansing tide. This was about more than mere wealth and capital. It rippled deep into the very essence of power, integrity, and the ever-fleeting nature of trust. I came to realize that I was no longer simply advocating for financial recognition. I was fighting for my identity, for the integrity of my legacy, and the true meaning of what it meant to construct an empire brick by brick. This unexpected detour laid bare the complexities and intricacies of navigating a world filled with deception, making me contemplate not only what I stood to lose, but also what I could summon from the depths of my resilience. That evening, as I absorbed a profound lesson reshaping my entire perspective on life, I recognized that while wealth may serve as a protective barrier against the tumultuous storms of the world, it can never replace the genuine human connections that form the bedrock of our existence. Each painful fizz of betrayal rippled through the room, palpable and thick as the air, as Jasper's words echoed hauntingly in my mind. A relentless reminder of misplaced alliances and hidden truths that I had both taken for granted and woven into the fabric of my success. However, as the night progressed and my emotions swirled like a fierce tempest, I took a deep breath, anchoring myself amid the chaos. I consciously chose to confront these chaotic feelings directly, stepping into a realm where I was raw and vulnerable. No longer would I conceal myself behind a facade of perfection. It was time to unveil my vulnerabilities, to acknowledge them, and ultimately transform them into a compelling narrative of fortitude and insight that would resonate with others who had perhaps faced similar struggles. The aftermath of the gala ignited a resolute reassessment of the precious relationships surrounding me. In that challenging moment of epiphany, I came to recognize that the very foundation upon which I had constructed my life was now being scrutinized and tested with a magnifying glass, revealing patterns of long-standing patterns I had ignored in my pursuit of success. As I navigated the perilous waters of betrayal, a fundamental truth emerged. Wealth does not insulate us from hardship. True strength is born from our willingness to embrace vulnerability. In the weeks that followed, I gravitated toward my family, making earnest attempts to rebuild and fortify our relationships shaken by the tempest of my health crisis. My daughter and I engaged in open conversations, peeling back layers of resentment and fear to unearth shared hopes and heal together. I found solace in our little moments spent at home, cooking together or watching old family videos. Words unspoken in the midst of our struggles turned into laughter, and through these exchanges, we forged a tighter bond, a legacy of understanding and empathy emerging from the ashes of our previous misunderstandings. I learned that love, when given a chance to flourish, can grow fierce and bright, like wildflowers bursting through cracks in concrete. As I prepare to part ways with you today, I invite you to ponder this reflective question. Are you truly safeguarding your relationships, or are you merely fortifying your empire? The value of your legacy isn't merely measured by the wealth amassed, but rather about the trust, respect, and love you cultivate over the years. The tumultuous journey of a billionaire intertwines the shadows with the light, and in the depths of those shadows lies the potential to unearth our greatest strengths and insights. This transformative journey serves to illuminate a path forward, guiding us back to ourselves and redefining the true meaning of wealth within the grand tapestry of life. Through this passage, I have come to embrace the notion that our lives are not merely chapters of successes and heirlooms, but a rich narrative interwoven with our emotions and connections. As we navigate the complexities of existence, let us strive to stand tall in our truths, cultivating relationships that lift us, grounding us as we spiral into the unknown. As we continue our journeys, may we remember that true wealth is cultivated in moments of honesty, love, and understanding, nurturing the profound legacies we leave behind for generations to come.